All right. It looks like we're live streaming now. Sweet. Hello, everyone. Kevin Black here. This is it's pretty exciting. I've never actually live streamed before on YouTube, so it's my first time doing this. Very excited about it. And I just want to give you an update. The website is still being developed, small little fixes here and there. I'm adding new courses. In fact, I'm about to record a course right after this live show here. The course is called Execution Focus. And I'm really excited because, in this level one, if you go to the website, you'll see that we have different pathways. Level one, which is the tactical leader, level two, which is the operational leader, and level three, which is the strategic leader. So right now we are finishing level one. And so far we've learned about identity, the role of behaviors, the role of motivators, how they can really, really shape who you are. Look, if you're going to be a leader, you got to be effective. And to be effective, you have to know exactly what you're good at. So that's what identity is. And then that takes us to the second area, what we call competencies. And specifically that's thinking, learning to think in essentials. Then taking those essentials and then being able to communicate them in a way which people can understand, and they understand the meaning. That's a big thing. Words have meaning. You're not just saying words, you're reflecting something in reality, and different words have absolutely different implications. And if you haven't listened to my latest podcast with Dr. Michael Scheuer, I highly recommend you do. Check out our discussion, or he brings up the difference between terrorism and insurgency. Two different things. They may look the same. They may have similarities to them, but how you approach them, how you fight them, completely different. So that's what I mean in terms of communication. You have to be able to speak correctly, speak with accuracy and succinctly to a point where you don't mentally overload people. But communication, that's just one step prior to, or one step that leads us to planning. Because what is planning? You're taking those words and you're organizing them. You're organizing them into a way that if you're not there as a leader, that people can then take your plan, take your ideas, which you have coordinated, and that mission continues. So if you're not there, if you fall in battle, or if you get sick, or if you get fired, whatever, that plan exists. And so even if you're not there, the momentum, it continues, that people are driving forward. So that's what planning is. But this module I'm going to do today, that I'm going to tape today, is called Focus Execution. And the fact is that once you cross that starting line, things change, opportunities pop up, challenges all come up, and they can really obstruct us, upset us. So how do you focus? What do you focus on? How do you ensure that you're going to do the right thing when the fog of war comes? And it always comes. When that uncertainty hits us, it affects different people different ways, and that includes your teammates. Everyone perceives it a little differently, and they process it differently, and they act differently. And the question is, how can you avoid fragmentation of your team? How do you ensure that they can improvise even when you're not there? That that they're going to do the right thing, the things that you would do, that they're going to follow that kind of spirit, that kind of a general understanding or intent of how the mission should be accomplished. So that's what I'm focusing on today. And that's called Execution Focus. Following that, I just finished up a new module. It's called Teamwork. This goes under the systems management element of our definition of leadership. And teamwork, it's a lot more than just, getting people to work with one another. It's understanding the challenges, the points where your greatest strengths are, your biases, some people are biased to planning. Some people are biased to action, and that affects how relationships are. It affects levels of trust. So that goes into the teamwork module, which I'm finishing up right now. And finally, I'm kind of ranting here, but the final video module for level one is protecting culture. And this is exciting because I know culture has become, in a certain sense, has become a fluffy term, a term that just really, when I think of back in the day, when I would think of culture, I would think of beanbag chairs and free sodas and candy. That's absolutely not the way it is. Culture could be a strategic weapon, a strategic advantage for you as a company. But you got to be able to, at the level one, the tactical leader, the first responsibility is to protect it, to do no harm and make sure you protect it. And that's what we're going to focus on. I have not created that module yet. And what I do is I watch movies, I read books, I take notes. And it's shocking that whatever I'm watching, I can pluck out things, and I just start taking notes. And this comes to me. This one thing I really enjoy doing is creating these modules. I'm actually pretty good at revising them. That's a whole other issue, but creating them, that's fun. So I still have to get the information of the details for a culture, but it's coming. I assure you, I have some really good notes now. So that's what's happening in the Black Market Leadership element. I just recorded another podcast a couple of days ago, and that was with Anthony Tucker Jones, who is a military historian. Guys, written over 500 articles, written over 50 books, published in 4 different languages. It was a lot of fun. It was. We just talked a lot of World War II. It was a lot of World War II. So for some of you people who like World War II, you probably really enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Had some small technical difficulties. He was in England, but other than that, I think it went very well. If I remember right, it was an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes long. So good discussion. I'm going to carve that up. And yeah, there's not a lot on him for Anthony Tucker Jones. There's not a lot of videos of him. So this hopefully will provide some really good, information for his readers, for people interested in World War II, and hopefully it'll get people interested in his books. And obviously get people interested in black market leadership. That'd be nice, So, yeah, with that, I'm trying to think what else is happening. I figured I'd do some of these weekly updates just to tell you what's happening. What's it like to create this company from the ground up. It's taken a while. I'll tell you that. I thought we're going to launch this thing on January 1st. Yeah, and we're already in June 21st. It takes time because it's a big, big infrastructure. There's a lot of elements that go into it. So it's a challenge, but it's fun. And, with that, that's really it. I can't think of anything. If we get some people, let's see, I'm looking online. I'm going to say hello to myself, see how this works. Hello. Boom. Okay. So apparently it's just me, which is fine. We'll start getting people into this. Yeah, I think if we do some more elements like this, then I can answer questions, impose some questions. Again, black market leadership, the whole idea is to give them a competitive edge without having to break the bank. The fact is that if you work in corporate America, my line of work, you'll find coaches and consultants. They ain't cheap. They're not cheap at all. So instead of spending $10,000 to $20,000 or $30,000, how about you spend some subscription, like a monthly subscription of 30, maybe to 45, and get that high level quality material and not the fluff. That's another thing I'm really happy about in terms of our content and value. Is it's not the fluff. It's the fact that we can bring real value. Like, frankly, I would call it leadership for grownups. It's for people who are interested and developing themselves and really improving their lot in life, improving their ability to drive results, which gives you bigger and better paychecks, which makes you feel more developed, makes you feel more actualized, makes you a happy person. So that's what I like to do with black market leadership. Yeah. Not seeing anyone join. That's fine. That's fine. I've, again, never done this. This is kind of weird. I have no clue how it's going to look. Hopefully it'll look okay. Other than that, I'll give you a joke. Let me give you a joke. I told this joke a couple of days ago. It's a Cold War joke. It's a military history joke, kind of military history. What is 3 stories high, burns 30 gallons of gasoline an hour, just emits smoke and nastiness everywhere, and cuts an apple into 3 pieces? A Soviet machine made to cut an apple into 4 pieces. That's an old man joke. That is absolutely an old man joke. I like the old man jokes. They're good. They're good. Okay, well, this was a good test run. This was roughly 9 minutes long. Not too shabby. Maybe I need to slow down some. That might help. But with that, I want to thank you. Look, thank you for watching. Please join Black Market Leadership. Get a free member. Look, right now you get a free membership, and I got a lot of content that's out there that is free. We need to start recording some new movies or shows and these analyses that we've done, because right now we have Ford versus Ferrari. Oh, so good. Moneyball, The Founder, and we still have to tape. Remember, this stuff takes time. There's a series on Amazon that I love. I think it's really good. It's Texas Rising, and it's really about leadership and management. It's, if you break it down, there's some great lessons, and it's pretty interesting too. We have another one series that's coming soon. It's another, I think it's a Netflix series. It's the story of Playboy of Hugh Hefner. And man, I've watched a couple episodes. It's really good. And I think if you're an entrepreneur, it's a must watch. So working with Jody McCall, who's done, if you go on the site, you'll see how we've done some of these analyses together. Yeah, you'll see she's great on this. And what we do is we meet, because she's got a full-time job. We meet on the weekends, obviously via Zoom, and we break down these shows. But just getting to that point, we got to watch the shows, usually one or two episodes at a time. Then we take notes. And the big thing that we've learned is you have to meet prior to the analysis, or the actual shoot itself. We have to meet and discuss what the hell are we discussing, because I think if you didn't know this, we filmed our analysis of The Founder 4 times. 4 times. That's what, 8 hours worth of content. It's a lot. It took a lot, and we just really couldn't drill down exactly what it was. And finally, it came out. And that's that's the challenge. But I tell you right now, just doing these shows has been incredibly fun, and it's really sharpened my analysis, my ability to drill down and break elements. Yeah. So interesting stuff. Okay, we're 12 minutes in. Going to hit 13. I'm trying to hit 15. Let's see if I can do 15. Because people tell me I don't have a issue with jibber jabbing. Books. I'm reading 2 books right now. One is on, oh gosh, I'm gonna wreck her name. Oriana Fallaci. I think it's Fallaci. She was an Italian journalist, and I was introduced to her. I mean, well, she died years ago. I watched some old shows on YouTube, like such as the Dick Cavett show. Great. There's some great stuff out there. Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson. You see some of the old actors that you watch these interviews, and they're fascinating. I mean, Dick Cavett had Orson Welles on. Orson Welles was talking about George C. Marshall. Anyway, I watched her, and it was Oriana Fallaci, and a fearless journalist, and so I'm reading her bio, and the fact that she was what you would call a partisan in World War II as a child. And she grew up she wanted to be a writer, became a journalist, ultimately was writing books. But when I was watching an interview, apparently she had interviewed Henry Kissinger. And boy, I think Kissinger later remarked that it was the worst decision he'd made. He should not have invited her into his inner circle, because she just did a real hit piece on him. And I did not, and I think rightfully so. So I'm reading a book about her, about a biography on her. And maybe next time I do this, I'll talk about it. I'm also reading a book. It's called Strategy. It's a history, and I think it's by Freeman. Big book, fascinating book, but it's a book about the development of strategy itself. And I would tell you, I think in a certain respect, those kind of books that show you the progression, the intellectual progression, are really fascinating, and it helps me understand the subject much better. In fact, one of the best courses I've ever taken, in fact, no, the best course, academic course I've ever taken, is a history of Western philosophy from Dr. Leonard Peikoff. This is sold at the Ayn Rand Institute, and it's 72 hours. I did it. I've done it several times, and I did this 15 years ago. A guy at the Army, I was watching it, and it explains philosophy from the ground up. You learn, it's just funny. It's really amazing, because at the very beginning of the course, Dr. Peikoff, he demonstrates the connection, basically talking about pragmatism, which, one of the authors is John Dewey, American philosophy. Well, he shows the intellectual connections, and he traces it back all the way down back to Thales, the very first philosopher. It was amazing. So this book, Strategy, I'm reading, it starts, gosh, not with the cavemen. It starts with the Bible, the Greeks, and it breaks down strategy into historically from history, military history, politics, and even business. It is really, really fascinating. And if there's one thing that's interesting, many things which are interesting, but the one thing that I've really taken out is, especially in military strategy, there's really two extremes. One is the physical element. One is the mental element. And I've always read Clausewitz. I like Clausewitz. I've done a course on Clausewitz. Carl von Clausewitz is called the father, the patriarch of the direct approach, and that means just killing your enemy. Attack and focus on the battle. Kill your enemy. But the opposite of Clausewitz, you could say, is Sun Tzu. But the Western version of Sun Tzu, in a sense, is Liddell Hart. And guess what? He's the father of. If Clausewitz is the father of the direct approach, Liddell Hart is the father of the indirect approach. And that's about the mind, focusing on the mind. And what Freeman, I hope I'm not destroying his name. I'm going to say Freeman. What Freeman, all right, I'm going to look it up. So I'll make sure I'm not doing this. Strategy, Freeman. Strategy, Freeman. Yeah, Freeman. I got it right. Freeman. I think I got it right. Anyway, what he really shows that there's a connection, even a conflict between these two elements, that there are some people who want to go to the physical realm to just destroy the enemy body. And you got the indirect approach, which is all about, the mental realm, destroying people's strategies, upsetting that. And you can say it's about strength versus being clever. And it's fascinating to watch or to read this book, because you see a real history of this. You see historians, or I should say military historians, military generals and armies, how they strategize, how they try to outwit one another. But ultimately, sometimes it just comes down to a fight. But sometimes people fight where you could have been much smarter about it. So where do you find that balance? And how do you know that balance? So again, I find the book really, really interesting, but I read a chapter a morning, wake up really early, do a chapter a morning. Then I do about 20 minutes of Duolingo. Over a year now, I'm doing Russian. So, Doskorova. There's some Russian for a day. See you. Yeah, Doskorova. I hope I said it right. Anyway, we're 17 minutes now. This is the good test run of Black Market Leadership online on YouTube. So with that, I tell everyone, have a great day. I will talk to you later. And please check out the podcast. Tomorrow is June 22nd. Ooh, Operation Barbarossa. That's an anniversary people probably don't know. I will launch the part 2 of my discussion with Dr. Michael Scheuer. That will be released tomorrow. And look for it. I would love to get your feedback. So with that, have a great day. See you soon. And bye.